Hey everybody, did you know you can go to colinmullen.com in order to get art and art prints? It's why I set up the website, and you can go there and eventually I'll update it with all the art. They've got like a section on my shelf that I need to update to the website, colinmullen.com. So hey everybody, this week you get two paintings, I guess. So the first one, it's the same idea both times, but the first one I tried using the Perfectly Normal family color palette that's on my website, and just it doesn't look good in my opinion. It's not awful, it's just, not exciting. It's not, interesting to look at. It's just sort of a painting. I'll probably paint over it at some point. But the second one does the job a little bit better, but I was just having like a week where I could not paint for some reason. Like the lines, just everything was not in the right spot. And yeah, so that's what these are. They're all right. But anyway, so in May of this year, a Italian artist by the name of Salvador Garu, I butchered that name, I apologize to all Italians, sold an immaterial sculpture, he says, that is invisible, and it's called Buddha in Contemplation, I believe is the translation. It has been kind of a major thing for a lot of people. A lot of people have been very angry about this sculpture. I'm going to call it a sculpture just to be able to have a name for the thing, or lack thereof. It's invisible, and it was successfully sold because of a ticket of authenticity. It has instructions on how you set it up, and I think it's important that we have a conversation about it, because the initial gut reaction for everyone is going to be, this is dumb. This is incredibly dumb because, like, dude, he sold nothing. He literally sold nothing for 15,000 euro, $18,000-ish. But I think we could use this as a bit of a learning experience, a little bit of a thinking time to be able to define what is art. And I think this has, in very simple terms, allowed me at least to come up with one definition of one constraint that art must have, and that is it must be available to experience via one of five senses. I believe that music is a form of art. I believe paintings are a form of art. I believe that perfume, I guess, could be, dance can be. Those are things that you have to experience with one of your five sensations. It doesn't have to be all of them. Movies, video games, those are all art. So I think that just the concept of something doesn't rub me as being, art. It has to, I think ideas have to be manifested in a physical way. Maybe not physically. I mean, music, I wouldn't say, I guess it technically is, but, that's getting nitty gritty. But anyway, to me, this is dumb, but it's a level of dumb that I feel like that people have started to experience because of NFTs. The idea that just ideas can be bought and sold. And I don't think that works. I think, for me, I don't feel like I've created something until I've actually put it together. For me, I've come up with plenty of paintings and ideas that I just didn't actualize, that I didn't put into a physical form that people could experience. I don't think that art needs to be permanent. I don't think that art needs to be beautiful. I don't think that art needs to be something that everyone appreciates. I think those things are not required. My paintings, all of them, including this one that you're watching me paint right now, will eventually decay. It's made out of wood, it's made out of canvas, it's made out of acrylic paint. These things all rot eventually. It will eventually go to dust and it will be gone. It will outlive me, probably, but it probably won't outlive existence. Eventually this thing's gonna stop existing, and that's just, how things work. So I don't think it needs to be permanent, and I don't even think that permanence needs to be at a long scale. I think the decision of when to and when not to use resources is part of what makes art art. I think that's part of why John Cage's 433 works for a lot of people. I think we can say that, a song doesn't have to be a constant hum of noise. It doesn't have to constantly be making noise. There don't have to constantly be instruments playing. There can be breaks in it, rests, corner notes. You don't have to just use whole notes for the whole thing and it just be one monotone sound merging from one sound to another. The lack of sound is a sound. The lack of paint, the lack of stuff in a area of a sculpture is a thing. So what makes 433 potentially different than this? Why is this one so reviled? Why is everyone so against this one? But I think a lot of people respect 433 as being a thing. I don't know. Why does that work, but this doesn't? Because there's a physical recording of 433? This is something that I think we need to work out, because whilst this one I do believe is just the high art market just being the high art market, and I'm not going to defend it, we need to work out why it doesn't work in order for us to be able to determine what is and is not art. Because the low-hanging bar of it needs to be able to be something you've created, it needs to have a form that can be sensed by one of 5 of your senses, that works to me. I think that is a low-hanging bar that works. And I think part of the reason that 433 might meet that definition is that it does end up being sensed by one of my 5 senses. The lack of something in a space is not really... I think what this really does is tell people about one of the skills that you do learn as an artist, and that is to sell your work, to be able to come up with an explanation on why your work is valid. Like, there's a lot of art out there. There's a lot of artists out there. But why does your art even matter? Why does anyone care about what your soul has to say? There's a lot of people on this earth. There's a lot of people who have a lot of things to say. And some of it is trivial, and some of it is pointless, and some of it doesn't resonate with anyone. And some of that doesn't get noticed until after they're dead. And you realize, wow, this person actually had some really good, important stuff that we need to hear. I think part of being an artist is being able to explain who you are and what your art is about. And some of the people who are in the, the higher echelons of the high art market have been able to master that skill and not necessarily master the skill of actually creating stuff. I think that is sort of an epidemic in the high art market right now, where there is a lot of people who are very good at talking the talk, but not very good at making things. And so they have to come up with really bizarre ways of explaining their work in order to make it work, or in order for it to be sellable. And because these commodities are, commodities and not being seen as art, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. I think that's a really important thing about what this piece is, Buddha and Contemplation, if I'm getting that name right. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It just matters that it's a thing that an artist is selling. So the fact that it has no physical form is entirely irrelevant to its actual function in reality. And its actual function in reality is to be a thing that is bought and sold like stock, like NFT, in order to gain value for whoever bought it. So it functions as a piece of high art because of that. But does it function as a piece of art that me and you, people who want to appreciate art for its, aesthetic, whether it be good looking or bad looking or, emotionally evocative or not, how do we make that work for us? These are things that I don't think I've got a good answer to. I don't think I can give you a good explanation on why this piece is something that anyone should care about, because I don't think that anyone should. But we have to talk about it because it is a piece of art that's out there, that's in the cultural zeitgeist that we have to think about. And therefore, this is my video on it. Where is your definition of art? What is your definition of art? I don't think you should just go, not that. I think you should be able to find why not that. And that's what I think this video is about, is why not that? And my definition is it has to be sensible through one of your 5 senses. What about you? Why is this not art to you? Throw it down in the comments. That's not just me looking for SEO, but also I honestly want to know what people think. Why not that? Anyway, let's get some critical thinking going. And while you're typing that out, I'm going to go and thank the people on Patreon who made this video possible. If you want to join them and be in the credits, you can throw $5 at me on patreon.com/RevScarecrow. And I'll say your name. I'll say it wrong, just like I said that artist's name wrong. That actually makes it seem like a bad thing because I've compared you to an artist that I don't like. Anyway, check out his other work, by the way. It's really bad, in my opinion anyway. Let's start thanking some people, starting with Wapfu. Thank you, Wapfu. Thank you, Top Houndor. Thank you, Targo. Thank you, Snoutpunk. Thank you, Orthogonal Caster. Thank you, Mortibus. Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Maliciousness. Thank you, Lost Nevada. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Gala. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Demetrius Gazgalez. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Bubba Fair. Thank you, Bep. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Amber. And thank you, Ants! I don't know. It's an interesting one to think about. Once you get over your gut reaction that that's dumb, there's something there to actually have a conversation about. And I hope that we can have that conversation in the comments. I'll see you guys there.